And let's see what we have for today. Today is the 6th day of October, and the time now, as we produce this program, is 9 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock. Welcome to the program. I am Pokalai Nui, and this is Hawaiian Potpourri. We are broadcasting from the top of the Chinese Cultural Plaza here in Honolulu, Hawaii. There's been a number of things that have come to my attention over the past week, and there seems to be an explosion of politics going on. For a time, we were blessed with some respite, some quietness on all of this, and now we have the debate between the two American presidential candidates, and we have also had the debate between the mayoral candidate, which seems to be the most active competitions now going on. I note that we are also there's a telephone call on the line, and normally I don't take telephone calls this early, but it seems that someone is very anxious to get on, so we'll go ahead and take that call. Our telephone number here is 524-1080, so if you would like to also participate in this program, you can give us a call and share your opinions on some of the subjects that we'll be discussing. I do intend to get into some of the political issues. I do also intend to go into some of the events that happened in the Native Hawaiian Convention, which was not the political convention, although it was very political. But this was what did occur this past week at the Hawaii Convention Center. But before getting further into that, let's see what our caller has on his or her mind. Aloha, caller. Welcome to the program. Yes, hello, caller. Go ahead. I can barely hear you, but let's keep trying.
Is it better?
No, it's not. Just a minute. Let me see if there's any adjustments I can make here. Yes, go ahead. Keep talking to me.
Can you hear me better now?
It's very soft. I can hear you. There's a lot of when you speak. There's a lot of static.
How's this?
Okay. Just go ahead and we'll make out.
Okay, but is it better now?
No.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I
Closing in, Boca.
I'm sorry.
The state is closing in and choking off all dissent now, huh?
I don't know. You want to try calling right back?
Okay.
And perhaps we can get a better hookup. Okay, thank you. Aloha. And I don't know what the circumstance that this caller is in to make it hard to hear. But we'll keep trying. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's try one more time. Aloha, caller. Welcome. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still having a real difficult time hearing you.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know what the problem is.
Oh, well. Maybe we should try again later.
Okay, why don't you try again later, and we'll see if other callers call in, and if they are also experiencing, or I am experiencing the same problem with them, then it may be an indication that it's some adjustments or further adjustments that I need to make here.
Oh, yeah. We're not being choked off, so to speak.
I don't know. We haven't touched on any controversial matters yet, and we've covered some very controversial matters on this program. So I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion that we are being choked off.
Okay.
Yeah, try again.
Back to the football game.
Okay, thank you. Aloha. And let's see. Okay, if someone else would like to call, or when you do call, we'll monitor to see if we are getting some problems with. Perhaps it's a operator error, as my MIS specialists like to say whenever there's a complaint by one of our users of our computers and the rest. He says generally it's operator error. It's not the program, it's not the hardware or the software, operator error. I came across something that essentially brought me to tears, and I want to share with you, and I'm hoping that I don't come to tears again, so I will try to stiffen my resolve and read from Keith Tonaki. on the subject of spirituality. And he has at the beginning editor's note. This letter written by Vietnamese immigrant Ho Minh Tan, working in Fukushima as a policeman, to a friend in Vietnam, was posted on New America Media on March 19. It is a testimonial to the strength of the Japanese spirit and an interesting slice of life near the epicenter of Japan's crisis at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. It was translated by NAM editor Andrew Lam, author of East Eats West, writing in Two Hemispheres Shanghai Daily, condensed it. Brother, how are you and your family? These last few days, everything was in chaos. When I close my eyes, I see dead bodies. When I open my eyes, I also see dead bodies. Each one of us must work 20 hours a day, yet I wish there were 48 hours in the day so that we could continue helping and rescuing folks. We are without water and electricity, and food rations are near zero. We barely manage to move refugees before there are new orders to move them elsewhere. I'm currently in Fukushima, about 25 kilometers away from the nuclear power plant. I have so much to tell you that if I could write it all down, it would surely turn into a novel about human relationships and behaviors during times of crisis. People here remain calm. Their sense of dignity and proper behavior are very good, so things aren't as bad as they could be. But given another week, I can't guarantee that things won't get to a point where we can no longer provide proper protection and order. They are humans after all, and when hunger and thirst override dignity, well, they will do whatever they have to do. The government is trying to provide supplies by air, bringing in food and medicine, but it's like dropping a little salt into the ocean. Brother, there was a really moving incident. It involves a little Japanese boy who taught an adult like me a lesson on how to behave like a human being. Last night, I was sent to a little grammar school to help a charity organization distribute food to the refugees. It was a long line that snaked this way and that, and I saw a little boy around 9 years old. He was wearing a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. It was getting very cold, and the boy was at the very end of the line. I was worried that by the time his turn came, there wouldn't be any food left, so I spoke to him. He said he was at school when the earthquake happened. His father worked nearby and was driving to the school. The boy was on the third-floor balcony when he saw the tsunami sweep his father's car away. I asked him about his mother. He said his house is right by the beach and that his mother and little sister probably didn't make it. He turned his head and wiped his tears when I asked about his relatives. The boy was shivering, so I took off my police jacket and put it on him. That's when my bag of food ration fell out. I picked it up and gave it to him. When it comes to your turn, they might run out of food. So here's my portion. I already ate. Why don't you eat it? The boy took my food and bowed. I thought he would eat it right away, but he didn't. He took the bag of food, went up to where the line ended, and put it where all the food was waiting to be distributed. I was shocked. I asked him why he didn't eat it and instead added it to the food pile. He answered, "Because I see a lot more people hungrier than I am. If I put it there, then they will distribute the food equally." When I heard that, I turned away so that people wouldn't see me cry. society that can produce a 9-year-old who understands the concept of sacrifice for the greater good must be a great society, a great people. Well, a few lines to send you and your family my warm wishes. The hours of my shift have begun again. Ha Min Tan. So that's an article that I picked up off the internet. Who sent me this? Laurel Douglas. And Lynette Cruz in one of her circulars sent it out. It was written by, Keith Kotonaki had sent it out, and this was what had appeared in East Eats West Writing. No, I'm sorry, it was translated by Andrew Lam, who is an editor of NAM. And what else can I say? I guess that's it. All right. So I just wanted to share that document with you. This is Pokalai Nui. It's 20 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock, and you are listening to Hawaiian Potpourri. Other things that have crossed my attention, of course, the issues of the presidential debate and the mayoral debate, and we'll get into that perhaps in the next half hour. There are other things that I did want to share, and I know that once we get into the issues of the presidential debate, we'll be converged with so many opinions that we won't be able to discuss anything else. So let me just share what I think is important news. New approach that is occurring started with Hensinki. The city of Hensinki added its voice to a growing global call against corporate tax evasion with the passage of a new responsibility strategy that leaves no room for unethical business practices. Last week, 85 city councilors from Finland's capital voted to sever business ties with companies operating in or having links to tax havens. The resolution, which passed 78-4 in the City Council, the country's highest decision-making body in charge of local affairs, acknowledged that tax evasion undermines the capacity of municipalities to provide social services. The Council also recognized that tax havens deprive developing countries of vital tax revenues and denies them the opportunity to benefit fully from world trade. Tax havens are either territories or countries whose authorities allow businesses or individuals to deposit their wealth at very low rate tax rates, or in some cases pay no taxes at all. The London-based Tax Justice Network has identified 10 of the most attractive tax havens around the world, including Bahrain, the Cayman Islands, Jersey, Singapore, and Switzerland. Tax havens are quickly becoming an election issue here as the country prepares to head to the polls for municipal elections in 3 weeks. Minister of Finance Hutta Urpilainen of the Social Democratic Party flagged the topic during a parliamentary discussion Thursday by supporting the proposal that municipalities boycott companies operating in tax havens. The recent decision means Hensinki will no longer provide procurement contracts to companies whose operations are located in tax havens. With a budget of about 4 billion euros, Hensinki is Finland's biggest consumer of goods and services, but it must now be more wary of who it chooses to do business with by demanding that companies reveal where they operate. Taxes from enterprises are the primary source of income for Finnish municipalities, enabling them to provide public services such as education, health, housing, and care for the elderly. Companies operating through tax havens pose a lethal threat to the welfare state in Finland and in all countries, especially in developing countries, according to the resolution's author Thomas Wallgren, a social democratic counselor who has been leading the charge against tax havens. They also distort fair competition between companies, thereby threatening the survival of local and national small and medium-sized companies, Wallgren told IPS. He cited the examples of Accra breweries in Ghana, owned by South Africa's SNB Miller. For 5 consecutive years, this multi-billion-dollar company paid no taxes at all to the Ghanaian government, while people who sold empty bottles on the streets paid and continue to pay value-added tax and municipal tax. Implementation of the City Council's resolution may still run up against obstacles, according to legal experts here, who say the issue is compounded by the fact that European Union competition laws do not allow companies to be denied public procurement contracts on the basis of their location in tax havens. The amount of money in tax havens is a big question mark. Mati Kohonen, a researcher with the Tax Justice Network, told IPS, "We live in a world of high financial secrecy, which is a direct cause of the financial crisis. We don't know where the money is, and that is a very serious problem." He estimates that global financial transactions that are either illicit or involve some element of criminality or tax evasion are in the order of $1 trillion annually, about 1/10 of the United States gross domestic product. The lost revenue stemming from these actions is somewhat close to $100 billion, the amount the United Nations says is required to fulfill the Millennium Development Goals. Okay, I won't read the rest. I think you get the message and the idea. Suppose the city and county of Honolulu and all of the counties of Hawaii adopted a resolution very similar to this. First of all, that any bids or any applications or any bids submitted in response to a request for proposal to be a contractor or a subcontractor with a primary contractor for any project such as a rail project, such as Cayetano's new bus proposal that is coming up, or any activity that is procured by the city or using city money, and then move it up to the state anytime the state puts out a contract. First of all, disclosure is required if they have any investments stored in one of the tax haven areas. And you can come across a list of those countries in which these investments are considered tax haven lists. Bain Capital, for example, and all of the places that they are storing their money, including the Cayman Islands, would not be qualified to bid on any of these contracts. Or they can bid, but they cannot be awarded any of these contracts. I think that would be an excellent idea and an excellent opportunity for the City Council of Honolulu to assure that we are not cooperating and complicit in the avoidance of tax by these major corporations. The second thing we might want to do is say that they are not permitted to operate or locate or place a home office in Honolulu or any place within the jurisdiction of the state of Hawaii. Is that prohibited by any existing law? And if it is, let's change that law. It's something I think really people should be talking about. The candidates for the city council as well as the state legislature should look more deeply into. And I would suggest even those people running for congressional offices should look into this possibility of at least describing those companies which are engaged in this kind of tax haven investment. agreements. Now, some people may find, and I haven't been able to check it out, that the what do you call this? These tariff agreements and the any agreements that prevent monies from freely flowing across national borders might violate, or these kinds of approach might violate such agreements, then at least we know about it, and we should take a second look at whether or not we should have engaged in such agreements. And let's start addressing it that way. I think that would be an effective way that the so-called 99%ers such as you and I can take on something very clear, very definite, at least the exposure of who these companies are, and secondly, prohibit them from engaging in contracts with any of our governmental entities. And it would also stop probably the engagement of contracts by such corporations with any of the non-governmental organizations that are building buildings and other things like that. And so we have a very clear statement that we will not participate or allow the participation of these kinds of behaviors that stop investment into third world countries and even here at home. All right. Okay, enough of that. If you'd like to call and share an opinion, do so.
Kaulana na pua o Hawaii, Kupa ama hope o ka aina, Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino, Pala pala anunu me ka paka. Pane mai Hawaii moku o ke ave, Koku ana honoa o Pi'ilani, Ka ko'o mai kaua I o mano, Pa'apu me ke one o ka kuhi hewa. Aolea e kau I ka pulima, Maluna o ka pepa o ka enemi, Ho'ohui ai nā ku ai hewa, I ka pono sivila a o ke kanā.